pleased to be joined by, well, not one of us technically, but two of us by way of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, with several state tourney appearances. I'm not even going to count them, and a championship to boot. Now both members of your Minnesota Golden Gophers, John and Luke Mittelstadt. How we doing, boys?
Doing well. We're doing well. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We had a few Gophers on earlier this year with Oliver Moore and Snuggerud and stuff. So they set the bar pretty high for the Gopher standards there, as you could probably expect. Those two.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'd argue they set the bar pretty low here for the opening question, though. And I don't know if they teed you guys off for this, but Rohrschach test. When you look at the Minnesota Wild logo, what do you see?
I see woods. Well, you can see like an eye, and it's like some sort of animal too. That's all I
have heard that.
Yeah,
but I see trees in the sunset. I think. I don't know.
If you tell me what it is, I'll know it. But I forgot.
That's the beauty of it. There is no answer. Like, everyone has a different answer. We've been told nature scene. Like, Oliver Moore was baffled when we told him that there was also a bear. We had Declan Chisholm on, and he only saw the bear. And then we had Adam Beckman, who thought it was a UFO. So, like, there's no wrong answer here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Look at it.
One of the most creative logos there is, probably.
Yeah,
it's a good logo.
It's since this is you could probably hear the playoff, the Lord of the Rings podcast here. Are you guys Lord of the Rings fans at all? Have you seen any of the movies or any of the books?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen a single movie.
There we go. Do you guys have any kind of nerd itch? Like a movie, a book? Like, are you Harry Potter guys? Do you collect coins or Pokemon cards? Like, what's your weird nerd itch?
I actually watched the Harry Potters for the first time this year, and I haven't read the books, but absolutely love the movies. Not much of I wouldn't say I'm like a nerd for it, but I enjoyed the movies for sure.
Yeah, I think my big thing is like my nerdy is Star Wars. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not like I don't love it, but if it ever turns on, I'm for sure watching.
Yeah, everyone has their kind of nerddom, so to speak. Like my wife got me into Lord of the Rings more than we do the Lord of the Weekend every year. We watched all three movies, 4 hours each, and just have some drinks and some snacks and watch that in a cold Minnesota weekend. So
perfect.
It's one way to do a binge watching, which hope you have. You need enough time to do that, but it takes a while.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having you guys on. People might be surprised, like you guys weren't. The hockey family wasn't created in a lab or a hockey factory. Like I heard from your parents weren't big into hockey, right? Did you call your dad D3? Is that true?
Yeah, we called him D3.
Yeah, we called him that growing up. And yeah, they never played hockey growing up. I think what did dad play? Played football and
my dad played football and baseball at St. Olaf.
Yeah.
And he said he always wanted to play hockey growing up. He just never had the opportunity to do it. And he always loved it. My mom had nothing to do with hockey whatsoever. And yeah, our dad just threw us into it, and we like fell in love with it right away. So
didn't skip a generation. You didn't have like a grandparent, like Snuggerud who played hockey, you have like other previous genes that set this whole thing up.
Not that I know of for sure, but I don't think so.
So like what got you, I'm sure your brother is a big part of it, but like what got you started in hockey other than living in Minnesota? And that's what everybody does.
Yeah, well, obviously, like you said, Casey was a huge part for us because we saw how much he loved the game and how hard he worked at it, like at a young age. And I think that just like drove us to love hockey because he loved it so much. Also, we had a sport court in our backyard, and we'd go back there and shoot pucks in the summer, and our dad would flood it in the winter, and we just learned to love it by just having fun playing it. That's really it. So, yeah.
So were all three of you guys out there? I know there's an age difference there a little bit.
Yeah, we were all three out there all the time. Yeah.
So how does that work? Like, is Casey the oldest, so he's like stuck with dad in boots against the two of you, or how do you split three?
For like knee hockey, I remember this. We would have one goalie, one net, and we play 1-on-1. That's what we would do and fight every time. My mom
knew. A war.
Yeah, it was
an
a war.
War.
Chaos. My mom knew beforehand there was going to be a fight, and she hated it.
Yeah.
Hated knee hockey. So, but I think it's kind of that's where we learned like to be competitive, and it's part of the reason we're probably here. So.
And who came out on top in knee hockey?
Probably Casey.
Who's like 40 pounds heavier than us. So
Yeah, that helps.
I went to like Victor Hedman's hometown. I used to cover the Lightning, and in his basement in Ovik, Sweden, there's all these like marks on the wall in the basement and like dents in the floorboards and stuff like that. I figure like your guys' place had a lot of remnants of those hockey battles at some point.
Yeah, it did. That's part of the reason my mom hated it too, is we would absolutely destroy the walls. And we had friends' basements that had like the perfect knee hockey basement, and we destroyed their basement every time. Definitely put a few holes in there. So that's just what knee hockey does for some reason.
Yeah, we had the unfinished basement, so we were good. No drywall.
That's the best.
Yeah.
I don't think they started the renovations when I was a senior in high school, so they knew they did it right.
Yeah, that's smart.
That is smart. Those are the best basements for knee hockey for sure.
Oh, we did that. I think the craziest one was like legit airsoft battles in that basement.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's sick.
That is crazy.
That's fun.
Those BBs everywhere.
Oh, everywhere. You have no idea.
Yeah.
It's like glitter. You keep finding that shit for years.
Yeah, we had a sport court, obviously, and we had airsoft BBs just underneath the sport court. Pissed my dad off so much.
Yeah.
Like stuck in the little like cracks and
yeah,
stuff. Square holes. Oh,
yeah.
terrible.
That pissed him off. So.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Now talk about just like growing up in Eden Prairie. I mean, from playing with guys that are kids of former NHLers to really the Mittelstadt name being in the middle of the best stretch of hockey we have seen from Eden Prairie. What's it like?
Yeah, I mean, it was a ton of fun, like playing with him. And then I think my sophomore year, we had a pretty crazy run to the state championship, and obviously ended in a loss. But like that run, I think was for everyone. Like, I mean, we can do this if we want. Like, we just got to work hard. And obviously, watching Casey do it too was big for us. And I mean, all those memories that surround the state tournament. I mean, those are like the best memories of my life playing hockey, and I'm sure a lot of kids who have played in that tournament can relate. So,
yeah, well, I mean, you guys from 2009 to 2021, 9 appearances and 1 championship. Not a big deal, Luke. Is it weird to you guys at all that you were still only the second most hated team in the state behind Edina?
No, it wasn't weird.
Yeah,
no.
We all hate Edina, so I was gonna say no.
Like I'm sure your parents were asking if they had season tickets to the X for the state tournament. I'm sure, just after all the back all the time.
Oh yeah, just for old times.
And you guys had a lot of ridiculous teams, but actually the one thing I want to pull up here, and I'm actually gonna pull a video up on the screen. I need you guys to talk to me about this magnificent, majestic creature.
Oh my gosh,
Jake Casey.
So funny. I had a science class with him, and we sat right next to each other. And I don't remember who would sit behind us, but it was our friends, and they'd stick pencils in his hair, and he would have no idea. And I mean, if you knew him too, he's not that type of guy to do that. He's super quiet and humble, just the nicest guy.
Yeah, like he wasn't craving attention.
Yeah,
it's just like
he had
the attention just came to him.
Yeah.
Like it just people loved it.
Yeah,
he was a meme immediately.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, he's
an icon.
Yeah, it's the funniest video ever. Right before that, Jake Luloff staring down the camera looks insanely creepy. It's just the 1-2 punch of a lifetime.
So how much is it like talked about before you guys go out there for the first game of the tournament? Like, is everyone like talking through all the stuff they're gonna do? Do people kind of keep it to themselves?
Well, for us, we all got haircuts. So like if you look at all of us probably had short hair, and then Drew Holt, Jake Casey, Carter Batchelder, I think they all kept their long, like curly, crazy hair. And I don't know, for us, I think we wanted to act like we had been there before. We didn't really want to do a ton of crazy stuff, but yeah, like that type of stuff happens, and obviously you're gonna laugh about it. And it's I mean, a lot of those guys are just making memories, and yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Like this year was watching those skate ups were the funniest things I've ever seen. Like those kids, they were so creative. I think, my favorite was probably just the regular toothpick. A kid just stares down the camera with a toothpick, and it's like, how do you think of that?
I like the guys that troll. The guy that like went up and I don't know, me watching, I can tell he intentionally fell, but the whole internet's like, oh my God, I can't believe this guy fell. I'm like, you guys are so dumb. God damn it.
What was that? Was that Hermantown or Warroad?
I don't even remember who it was now. The only one that I vividly remember, because like I locked in on this so hard, was the goalie for Cretan who had the Zubaz pads. Incredible.
I didn't see that.
Oh, like, you know, the Vikings, like Zubaz pants?
No.
Like it's like tiger stripe almost, but it's
Really?
yellow and purple.
You remember that kid?
Yeah.
We stayed with Cretan over winter break, and I remember those tiger pads. They're crazy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The other one was the leopard print hair. Down. It's like,
That's so sick.
it's just like too far, but it's so funny. It is so funny. He does the stupid like stare down. He opens his mouth and oh my gosh, just crying. It's so funny.
I love the goal celebrations too. Like it's, when did it start where you score a goal and you go right to the student section and jump into the boards like that? What year did that kind of start?
Well, I think the big one was
Casey was doing that a lot.
He didn't do the full ice though.
Yeah.
Well, they said you can't celebrate into the other team's student section. So it was like you got to celebrate into some student section. I think Jackson Blake had a big part in this. He loved the full.
He was doing it. He was doing it before anyone else I knew was doing it, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you had to chase him down the ice.
Yeah.
Well, and talk about like playing with some of those guys. Like he just got nominated here for Hobie Baker, but I mean, going down the list, like you guys played with Langen, Brunner, Ben Steves up to Duluth. You guys had some really good players come through Eden Prairie. Like, what is it like playing with all those guys?
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, you just get better, and it's a lot easier when there are really good players out there in high school. So like, and we also work out with them in the summer every day. They're our best friends. We golf with them as well. I think we just have always pushed each other to get better, and it's definitely put us where we are at today. So,
did anybody ever bother recruiting you guys other than Minnesota? Like, did people just figure you're going to Minnesota, so they didn't even try? Like, or was there other, like, did you take visits to other places, or was it always going to be?
We kind of just told everybody else, no, but we did do a visit to Wisconsin.
Of
Before
all places.
Gross.
Yeah, before they were, before Minnesota reached out to us, and we weren't going to go there, but it was Minnesota, like no doubt about it. Like it wasn't an option.
Is the rumor true that the only reason they even let Casey play there is because they wanted to lock up the two of you joining too?
I think that's true. Yeah. Because I think what I heard is when we were there, when Casey was there, they were just waiting for us to come in. So the Casey was kind of just a decoy. I don't know though. I don't want to solidify anything, but I think it's true.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I think it was actually players. I think it was EP, the Spielman kids. They played lacrosse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JD was sick. I coached against him and it was not fun. And I don't know if it's true, but the rumor that was out there is that they recruited his older brother to play lacrosse at Ohio State. And as soon as JD decommitted and said he was going to go play football at Nebraska, like his brother never played again.
No way.
I didn't know that.
Crazy.
So it's crazy though, hearing how like, I've always seen like the older brother and then, the younger follow, but like to bring in the older brother to entice the younger brother is like quite the bold play given the landscape of college sports right now where like anyone can decommit and hit the transfer portal whenever they want.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For sure.
JD was an insane athlete though.
So good at lacrosse.
Freak.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. He was something else.
Yeah, he was.
John, I got to ask you. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. What was the draft like going with Casey? Like, what was that whole experience like?
It was a really cool experience. We were in Chicago and we just had an amazing hotel room. I don't know, it's just really cool. We were in the back room as well. It was just a really cool experience. It's no one really else gets to experience that, so it was pretty cool for sure.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like for you, Luke, like going through your first year of eligibility, not being drafted, and then this past year being taken, like, did you have expectations? Did you think like there were teams talking to you that you expected to pick you up, or how did that all shape out?
Yeah. So actually my first year I went undrafted, but I was on like the central scouting. And then my second year I went undrafted, but I was on the central scouting. So then my third year I was like, all right, like I'll probably be on central scouting again, but it doesn't matter. Like whatever happens, happens. And yeah, so I was a 3-year like central scouting vet. I don't know how many times that has happened, but yeah, I'm glad Montreal picked me. And yeah, it was a little crazy ride, but I think like long run, it was good for me to have that adversity and pissed me off a little bit too, for sure. So yeah.
Well, how tall are you?
5'11".
There it is. I think we just solved the mystery.
There it is. Yep.
You couldn't just like stand on your toes just a touch, or like put a little
Sure,
pad on you.
put some pucks in my pocket, a little heavier. I don't know.
If you were 6 foot even, you probably would have been like a 2nd-round draft pick.
I don't know. That's a good point, but we'll see.
Well, Lane Hudson isn't that tall, right? Lane Hudson's pretty kind of a smaller dude.
He's kind of a different breed, though. That guy. I don't know. He's a thoroughbred. Nothing I've ever seen before.
He's a guy that would have probably gone top 5 had he not been that tall.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, for sure he would have.
He's crazy.
No, John, if we're at the Thanksgiving dinner table with the whole family, who's got the trump card? Casey going top 10 in the draft, or Luke having the Stanley Cup or Stanley Cup state tourney championship?
I think it's the state tourney, 100%. Like,
Good answer.
I think that like we all wanted that so badly. Like that was just the biggest thing for us. Like we all wanted that state tournament. I mean, obviously Casey has some bragging rights for that. There's no doubt about it. But I would say the state tournament.
I think that's a good answer.
Yeah,
I agree.
Luke, I was talking to Faber about you guys on the decor, and I think Motzko said your decor just as good this year as it was last year, and that had 3, 4, 5 NHL players on that team. Just what made you guys kind of come together this year? Like, I think guys were just probably waiting for the opportunity, but it's not as easy just to step into kind of major roles on a team that's expected to do so much.
Yeah, I think we had a bit of a learning curve earlier this year, but it's hard to replace Fabes, Comer, Yanni. Like that's not easy to do. But if you want to look at it that way, it's anyone, you can put anyone out there, and we're all ready to do the job, and we're all capable. So yeah, I think that's kind of just what it comes down to.
Do you have a favorite Faber story from your time with him? And like, what do you thought of him playing 30+ minutes in the NHL right now?
Gosh, like I think every play that went into his corner, he killed in literally less than 5 seconds. And I'd just be sitting there on the bench. I'm like, how is he doing that? And then he'd lead the rush. Lights are turning off.
I'll grab that.
You got to do jumping jacks, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're good.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not that surprised to see he's playing that much because that guy's a mutant. But
yeah, he's
yeah,
a different breed.
I'm happy for him. He deserves it.
Has he come by the hockey house at all, like, since he went to the NHL, or is he kind of persona non grata? Like, is he like, I know.
Yeah, we saw him once. When was that? Christmas, after Christmas break or something like that. He stopped by, hung out with us, so that was good.
Yeah,
good to see him. For sure, he's still the same Fabes from last year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very controversial topic right now, apparently, especially if you talk to anyone in Chicago, because people are getting real heated about it. Who should win this year?
Calder Trophy.
Oh, well, I mean, I'd say Fabes plays 25 plus a night. I'd say that in itself is deserving.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I don't know. Bedard's having a good year too, but I'm on the Faber train.
Yeah, I'm on Faber train too. Yeah.
It was a lot more fun asking Oliver Moore.
What did he say?
He wouldn't answer.
Wow,
he's a good politician. He's a good politician.
He
was like, oh yeah, both.
Yeah, come on.
I want Bedard giving me the puck too. I don't blame him.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's fair.
Now, John, both of them. So we had Oliver Moore and Jimmy Snuggerud, and both of them said when we talked about guys that aren't talked about enough, like underappreciated, you were brought up immediately both times, just like best work ethic, guy that drives a lot that happens in the practices. What's happening here? Why can Luke not be as hard of a worker as you?
I don't know. I think that's just how I play. Like, Kook's definitely got more finesse in his game. I'm more like just like working hard and getting pucks in and battling it. And I think guys like notice that a lot. So yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Luke, what do you think you can do to aspire to be more like John?
Well, I'm a defenseman, so it's hard for me to get on the forecheck. But I think that's the one thing I should take away is the work ethic for sure.
Motzko seems like a pretty straight-laced, pretty like focused and intense coach. Like, do you have any favorite kind of like low-key Motzko moments where he's kind of shown some personality and kind of like obviously relating to the kids, these days? I mean, he recruits pretty well, so he has to be able to do that.
Yeah, I remember like our recruiting trip. He was probably one of the best recruiters I'd ever talked to. Like, I think we were going to go to Minnesota no matter what, but I think like the stories that he told were like that's the type of culture that I want to walk into and play at. And yeah, he has some sneaky one-liners around the rink where it's like I wasn't expecting that. It was pretty good. Like up until I had scored, I'd walk past him and he'd say to me, "That's enough, Luke. It's been long enough." And I'd be like, "Yep, I'm working on it, trying to score." And he'd just walk away with like nothing. I was like, all right. But yeah, I mean, he was right. And then I think I scored like a week later. So maybe he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. But also just like walk in the locker room, look at everybody, and then just walk out. And everyone's just like, what? Yeah. He's a funny guy.
That's good. Now, I got to ask, we've seen some of the fun that Brady Tkachuk has had the last couple of seasons primarily in the postseason, tagging along as his buddy Matt goes on and makes it to the finals. And they had another good run with Calgary. I know you guys can't hit the beers like he can, given your age, but what are you guys going to do to top him when you go out and watch the Colorado Avalanche now that Casey's there?
Oh man, I don't know. I think we'll maybe have to get our dad to do something because I think that's the only thing that can truly top what they have going on. But if we can get out there for some playoff games, that'd be some serious fun.
Yeah, well, we'll think of something we can do.
Yeah, we'll have to brew something up.
Yeah.
So were you guys like the true like hockey insiders that day? Like, what was that day like? Did you know like ahead of time before news broke that he was getting moved? Like, I don't know if it caught him by surprise or caught you guys by surprise.
No,
or like, what was that?
So we're in between drills, and I think I'm safe to say this now. Our hockey ops guy, Jacob Leroy, comes up to me and is like, "Hey, Casey just got traded to the Avalanche." And I was like, "What? Like, that's crazy. I literally just heard that he was not going to get traded." But I was like, wow. So I go up to John after a drill, and I'm like, "Yo, John, Casey just got traded." What? To where? And Coach Motzko standing right next to him. He goes, What happened? And John was like, Casey just got traded. And Motz came up to me and was like, "How did you find out during practice?" And I was like, Casey texted me right before because I didn't want Jacob to get in trouble. So,
wow.
Yeah, they didn't think anything of it. But yeah, Jacob Leroy told me
I
during
freaked
practice.
out a little bit. So,
It had to be like a kind of emotional thing, right, for him. And I don't know how much you talked to him after that, like of a team that drafts you and develops you, obviously a big part of that future. Yeah. And they probably didn't want to have to give him up, but they got obviously a good return for it. But like, what was that like to talk to him that day of him going to a team that's a legit cup contender?
Yeah, obviously, like it was really, really sad, but like really cool at the same time. Like he's so excited right now. He absolutely loves in Colorado. But like he said, like as he was leaving, he was getting texts from like his teammates, and he was like, "Oh no, like this is probably the hardest part. Is just like saying bye to all of his good buddies that he played with played at Buffalo for a while now." So, but like I said, it's super exciting, and he's stepping into a very good situation with a Stanley Cup contender. So, yeah.
We had some fun questions for you. I know Scott might have a few. You're too young for this, but they had like the Newlywed Game back in the day on the TV shows for like asking people about each other. And since you guys are described as kind of like twins a little bit, I'd like to ask you about each other, see how well you know each other. I guess. And we'll start with easy softballs and we'll move along. First one, Luke, about John. Like, who was his favorite NHL player growing up?
Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, that's an easy one. Yeah.
How about John for Luke? You know his?
Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, all three of us were Crosby fans. We were all Penguins. So
Okay, so that was an easy one.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
The biggest superstition for your brother. What's the biggest one that can't go without doing?
For you? Do you have any?
We're not superstitious. Neither one of us.
Are you a little stitious?
Like
A little bit.
we
You got your energy drink. Do you do that before every game though?
that's been recently.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
there you go.
I change things up all the time. Same, he doesn't have any superstitions either.
Yeah.
He never has. He's always thought they were dumb. I remember him saying that.
What about most annoying habit? And you've got to have one for each of you guys, because like growing up together, like what's the most annoying like pet peeve habit that your brother does?
We got to flip it around though, Joe. That's too easy. They know what each other's most annoying habits are. What do you think that your brother thinks your most annoying habit is? We'll start with you, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my.
He thinks he's perfect. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's your most annoying habit. You think you're perfect.
Yeah, that's his most annoying habit. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, yeah.
What is it?
For him?
No, what is your most annoying habit?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I can be a little bossy at times, I guess. So
Yep, spot on.
say yours now.
I don't know. I feel like I'm a pretty good brother. I wouldn't really do
Come on,
anything
there's gotta be
to
one.
bother you.
This guy's perfect.
I think when I get under his skin a little bit, I don't stop. That's when I keep going. I'd say that's probably my most annoying habit.
That's
All right.
true.
John, what's the real answer though? What's the real answer? What annoys you?
He's very stubborn. Like something like that. Once he gets under my skin, he just
You're stubborn too.
you're definitely more stubborn than I am.
Yeah. Oh.
What skill on or off the ice would you like to steal from your brother?
For if I were to steal on John's, was for sure like his first 3 steps are just like boom, and then he's off. I don't know how I missed out on that gene, but I would for sure want that one.
I think for Luke is just like the ability to see the ice like he does. I think he just makes plays that like I would never think of making. And yeah, I think definitely that for me. So
If either of you guys weren't hockey players, or that won't be your potential future, like playing in the NHL, what would be your brother's future job?
I think I would say like he's pretty into making food, so I would maybe open up his own restaurant or something like that. I don't know. He makes his food's all right, but it's something he's into, you know. So
wow.
Is that it, John? Are you gonna open a restaurant?
You never know. Maybe that's something I'd be interested in. Never thought of it, but for you, maybe like a cashier at McDonald's. I'm just kidding. Honestly, I've only like thought of him as just like playing hockey, but I think he'd be good in some sort of business setting. I don't know.
No, this is brilliant. John's buttering you up right now, saying there's no option besides hockey because you're going to be a investor in the new restaurant.
Norris Trophy winner. Yep. Sorry, that's it. You know,
we'll see.
Scouting report on each other's golf game.
I'll give you one. Hits the ball about 1.5 miles, and you're a little inconsistent a little bit, but
I'd agree.
Kills the ball, and when he's on. He's probably mid-70s, and when he's off, he's off. Let's just say that. Let's just say that.
I agree with that. His game took a major step last summer.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. You know, I gotta give him some credit. I think what was your low score? You shot 73, 74 last year? 74, yeah, up at the quarry, Giants Ridge. So, yeah, his game's good. He's just plays simple, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy.
Pucked in deep.
He likes the 5-wood off the tee. He really likes that.
Yeah.
So,
Can anybody putt? Can anybody putt in your family, or is it all just off the tee? Like you guys can crush it, and no one has a short
Casey's
game.
really good.
Casey's a putter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy drains some crazy putts.
So if there's going to be a scramble and we're going to match Casey's putting with one of your game, who's Casey going to pick as his partner?
I would honestly say John, because he just hits the ball so dang far. But
Casey hits the ball far too.
yeah, I don't know. Well, it's a good question.
And this is the last one for me. The Avalanche won the Cup this year. There's a Cup day in Eden Prairie. What's the day look like? Like, where do you bring the Cup? Where does Casey bring the Cup? And like, obviously, you'll be along for it. But what's that day like?
It's funny because we were actually just talking about like whether or not we would touch it, and I don't think either of us would touch it. But I think he'd for sure bring it to like Bear Path where we play, and I'm sure he'd stop at Hazeltine.
Yeah.
Eden Prairie Community Center for sure. Where else?
I think those are really good options. Yeah, Eden Prairie Community Center, just to bring it. I remember Nick Leddy doing it back when the Blackhawks won it, and that was like a big thing for our community. Like, people were totally pumped about that. So I could imagine Casey doing something like that, and or just like bringing it home too. Like, that's where it all started, was at our house. So
yeah.
Could your dad get on the ice now? Like, his skills gotten better over the years that he had the three of you guys? Like, where is it at right now? Like, has he been able to get beyond the D3 and move
I don't know where his skills are at now, but he used to dish us pucks for like one-timers, and he always had a pretty good pass. Skating skills, I don't know where those are at. It's probably been 10 years now since he's put his skates on.
He had the rollerblades on the other day.
Oh yeah, he threw my rollerblades on, and we were all scared for our lives.
He was super confident, and then all of a sudden he gets on him, and he's like, "Whoa!" And we're holding on to him, and I don't know. Yeah, we were all scared for him.
Yeah, he's a little wobbly.
Yeah.
God, yeah, I'm a first generation player too. Like, my dad, like Southwest Minnesota and Nebraska for all of his upbringing. So he played basketball, football, and baseball.
Mm-hmm.
The first time he came out and skated, I think I was like 8 or 9, and he came out, made it like 20 minutes, got off, said it hurt his feet too bad, and he was done. And like, we knew right away, it's like, because me and my brother could skate better than him, and we were little kids. And he just like, no, this isn't for me. I'm out.
I always remember our dad like being a good skater though, for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, he was good at skating when we were younger.
Well, he'd always played pond hockey growing up, so that's kind of where his like love for the game came from, and threw us out there. So,
well, we got one last question to wrap it up for you guys. Thanks so much for the time. I appreciate it. I'm sure you got to get to class or somewhere. Scott, take away.
Yeah, and we'll twist it up a little bit here since there's 2 of you, but we've got our Waggle golf question. GetYourWaggleOn.com, promo code SP10 if you want 10% off that order. We've been asking everyone who is in their dream golf foursome. So this is like, it can be friends if that's really the route you want to go, but it can be hockey players, it can be golfers, it can be historical people, dead or alive.
Actors, yeah.
But for the 2 of you, we're going to draft it.
wow.
Snake draft. Right. You can't have any overlap here.
All right, who's got first?
I mean, John's older, so he gets the choice whether he wants to go first or if he wants to defer because he thinks he's just going to do that much better than you.
You go first.
All right, Tiger Woods. First overall.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
All right, and for the first one here, we're going to give you a back-to-back, John, to balance it for the snake, and then after that, we'll just go every other. So give me 2. Who are your 2 guys?
Sidney Crosby.
Nice.
And Roman Josi.
Wow.
Roman Josi. Okay.
Cool.
I like that. All right. Luke, who do you got?
Who do I want here? I would say my favorite player on the Wild is like Ryan Suter. So we were big Ryan Suter guys, I feel like. I think I'd want him in there for sure.
For sure.
Who else? Probably like I want to golf with pro players because they are insane. Probably like Rory McIlroy. I want to see how good he is.
Yeah, true. I should.
Okay. So McIlroy, Tiger, and
Ryan Suter.
Yeah. What a grouping. Okay. And then John, you got one more to round out your foursome.
I would say I would gotta go with someone historical. Yeah, I would go like Jack Nicklaus. See where his game's at. See if
All
he's
right.
still in it.
Probably can still play for sure.
Yeah, he's probably still beating us.
I'm
Well,
shocked
yeah.
that no one yet has said John Daly.
Yeah, that was a good one.
One pick.
Yeah,
I was gonna go Michael Jordan, but I don't, because I
Ooh.
know he's a big gambler, so that'd be fun to watch. So I don't know.
I'm
Probably should have.
stressed out.
Might have to trade Ryan Suter for Michael Jordan unless it's too
Yeah.
late. Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah.
Huh? That's a tough go. All right.
Yeah.
This just in. Ryan Suter just got bought out from your foursome, replaced by Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, welcome to the team.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for doing this. I know it ran a little later than we thought, but thanks so much for having so much fun with this. And looking forward to seeing you guys play in the tournament. And you never know, there could be another Frozen Four appearance, and you don't have to go very far to get there. So best of luck to you guys in the next few weeks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.